Hey there, it's Jen, and today I wanted to share a little process video with you using the Journey Story Kit. And I wanted to talk about, so this is a photo that my daughter took of me the other day, wearing my Allie Edwards Just Breathe shirt. And I haven't had a lot of pictures of myself lately because I've been feeling really down about the way I look. And so today I wanted to talk about how this is just part of my journey, and even though there's been this huge shift for me and I'm not feeling great where I'm at, that it's just part of my journey and I can still enjoy life and to just breathe through it. So that's kind of where I'm starting. I have some stuff picked out that I want to use. I'm using, first of all, a page protector. I actually wanted one that had 2 3x4s and a 4x6, but I'm out of them. So I'm just going to use 2 4x6s, and I'll just make this into 2 3x4s, and that's fine. But I'm going to use my photo on the bottom, and then I wanted to, I guess I could use my photo at the top if I'm going to do it that way. I really love this bird card that comes in the kit. I don't know why, I just really love it. So I want to use that. And then I haven't decided which one of the journaling cards that I want to use. I'm not sure yet, but like really any of these would work probably. And then I want to put a quote on this side. So I'm thinking I'll cut this up and maybe pop it up, or I'll cut this out and pop it up. So starting there and thinking about using a few of the chipboard pieces as well. I really like maybe doing this here. So maybe I won't use this heart. But that's where I'm going to start. I'll just talk you through my process.
Alright, so I kind of start by deciding which card I want to use for my journaling. And I decide to go with this Embracing This Journey Right Now card. And I am happy with that. It has plenty of space for journaling and it kind of fits what I want to talk about anyway. And I am cutting up this card that has the quote on it, and it's kind of going to be tone on tone with that bird background, and I really like the way that looks. So I'm just trimming these into thin strips using my Tonic guillotine trimmer, which I love, and I will end up popping those up on that background of the birds. So I'm going to trim them down so they don't go all the way across, although I think it would look cute if I went all the way across, but I just decide to trim them down just a little bit. I'm also cutting out the name of the person who said the quote, so I can include that as well. And just going to arrange them here, and I'm going to make it so that they end at the bottom so I can put a little embellishment above it. And so that's kind of my plan with that. I'm using some fun foam to back these because I ran out of my regular foam. Usually when I'm backing something really small, I like to use just regular foam dots instead of the fun foam because it's just easier, but I didn't have any, so anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and do that here, so just cutting those up, and I'm gonna skip through this process and come back and talk to you for a sec.
Alright, so I've decided to use the journal card that says Embracing This Journey Right Now, and I have the digital kit. Now, if you get the story stamp, if you subscribe to the story stamp and the story kit, you get the digital kit for free, which is really awesome because you can use it for stuff like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a guide for where to place my text. And then I'm going to stick the actual journal card through my printer and print the text onto the journal card. Although if I wanted to, I could just print this out and use it instead. But I'm going to go ahead and I wanted to show you how you can do this in case you've never done it before. But what I like to do, so I'm using Adobe Photoshop CC, and I opened the card and I'm going to grab my text tool, and then I'm going to drag a text box as big as I want it to be. And I think I want it to pretty much fill the entire space. I might, if my journaling doesn't fill that entire space, I might leave a little room for an embellishment of some sort, but I'm not pre-planning to use any sort of embellishment, but you could definitely. And if you did, you could use the digital version of that embellishment and stick it on here so you can make sure that the text goes around it. But for me, I usually use the font Courier New. That's just my font of choice, and I use an 8 or a 9-point font for the most part, sometimes 10 or 11, but I like to keep it pretty small. And so I'm going to go ahead and type my journaling and print this out, and I will come back and show you where we are. I did want to mention, once you have everything ready to go and ready to print, that you want to make sure, if you're printing it onto the actual physical journal card, then you want to make sure to turn off the card when you print it, otherwise it will print on top of it. So I just want to print the text. So I'm going to turn that off and then go ahead and print it. Okay, so here I have the journal card with the quote popped up, and then I printed out my journaling on this card. You can see that there. And so I'm going to just glue this one to this one.
And I'm back with the voice recording sped up. So like I said, I'm just going to glue that down, and I'm liking the way this is looking so far. I do like that heart that says trust the journey. It looks like I'm opening my arms to that heart, and I really love the symbolism of that. So I go ahead with that, and then I'm trying to decide what kind of embellishment to put above the quote there, and I thought about adding a couple of hearts to kind of mimic the heart on the bottom, and I didn't love that. And I was thinking maybe I would add one of these geotags, which is from the add-on, and I add that here for now, and I'm thinking that I like it, but I'm not sure. So I think I'm looking up the date of the photo. I do that all the time on my phone to just look up the date, and I'm using my One Canoe to roller date stamp, which I love, and I had to buy that because of Allie. I just like the text. It's a little bit more squatty and a little bit more spread out, and it just looks really good. So I decided to stamp that with the Columbia ink. At this point, I feel like I need to add something to my story, so I'm going to print off a 6x8 photo.
Okay, so I really like this 6x8 photo next to it and how it balances it. The colors are a little different, but that's just the way that the photos were, so I'm going to go with it. But I thought maybe on this one I could add the word that comes in the kit, journey. Just right here, maybe along the horizon line, and then that can just be it, possibly. Maybe a quote underneath it.
Alright, so I'm going to play for a minute with these chipboard pieces, and I am trying to balance that kind of coral color, so I'm looking for something that I might be able to use that would bring in some more coral. And I'm looking at my journal cards because often I like to cut things out of those cards and include them, and I really loved the mountains on this card, and so I'm actually going to fussy cut around those, and they'll end up going above the word journey. And I really like the way that looks. Even though there are actual mountains on the photo, you can still kind of see them, and I don't know, I just really liked it. So it says embracing a new journey, and then I thought about this cutting off the bottom of this journal card, but that was too much text and it was too heavy, and so I didn't love that. I didn't love the hearts. I was really struggling to figure out what to add there, and then I thought, let's get rid of the blue and let's add some more of this peachy color, and I decided to add one of those to the little geotags to the word journey, or I mean not to the word journey, but to that side with the word journey. And I like that, and I end up adding back in the center of that geotag just because I really liked the way it looked. And I glued down the word journey with my favorite adhesive for this now is the Nuvo. I don't remember what it's called, something. I'll link to it in the video description, but that Nuvo glue is really awesome, and the tip is great. It's never clogged on me. I'm stapling down the edges of that mountain, and then I'm going to staple down the heart. And then I decided that it might be fun because Allie doesn't include a lot of florals in her kits, and I love florals. So I thought because this was outdoorsy, I would look through my floral pieces and see what I might want to include. So I have some different pieces from Maggie Holmes and Heidi Swap, and I end up going with these older floral pieces from Maggie Holmes. and I'm going to fussy cut a little leaf to go with that because I didn't have one, and so I'm just going to cut these leaves out really quick. And that added the perfect little touch of that coral color up to the top. So now you can see I have that visual triangle, which I think is important across the pocket page spread. It helps it feel cohesive, and so I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. So after I glue that down, this is pretty much complete. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll check out these kits if you haven't already. They've helped me tell a lot of really important stories, and I value that so much more than the actual product is the stories that I've told. And so, although I do love the product, don't get me wrong. Here are the close-up photos, and I will link to all of available in the video description below. Here are a couple other videos that you might enjoy from me using some of Ali Edwards' kits, and I hope that you enjoyed and you'll come back again very soon. Hit that subscribe button if you don't already, and we'll catch you in the next video.